welcome to the Hartford Nationals 2023 101 webinar presented by Move United. My name is Ashley Fillets, and I am one part of the competitions team at Move United, and I'm excited to bring you all the information about the Hartford Nationals 2023. It's going to be held in Hoover, Birmingham, Alabama, July 8th through 14th, and we're excited to see everyone there. I'm going to screen share the process of information that you need to know about nationals, what you need to know about qualifying for nationals, qualifying standards, and then actually take you through registration so that you're adequately prepared to register with all the information that you'll need after May 1st, which is today. And then I'll give you a couple tidbits that you can go ahead and complete after nationals to just kind of start you on your way as far as lodging, etc. So as you can see right here, I've got my screen up showing this is the main landing page for the Hartford Nationals. You'll see a couple buttons up here. The first is a volunteer button. So if anyone in your family or any spectators are out there and are looking to volunteer at nationals, they can go ahead and click on this link right here. It'll take them to a site where they can find out all the information and sign up for nationals. The second is our sanctioned competition calendar. So we wanted to point out that this season, there are 3 events on our Move United sanctioned competition calendar, which all of the events, all 27, are natural qualifiers for the Hartford Nationals. But 3 of them occur outside of June 28th, which is the last day to late register for nationals. If you are planning on attending one of those events, you need to go ahead, and we urge you to register before the deadline of June 28th and give us your qualification information after the fact so that we can go ahead and get you in. If we scroll down a little bit, you'll see 2 buttons that we'll come back to shortly. One for athlete registration. So you'll click this button if you yourself are registering as an athlete or if you are registering for an athlete, as well as a coach and guide registration button. So again, we'll come back to this in a second. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to register for nationals, I wanted to go ahead and point out a few things. The first is, let me tell you a little bit about the Hartford Nationals. It's the largest and longest standing national sport championship event for athletes with physical, visual, and/or intellectual disabilities. The 2023 event, which is scheduled again for July 8th through 14th, 2023, marks the 66th year of competition. Athletes must qualify to compete through one of more than 24 local or regional Move United sanctioned competitions, a national governing body, or a high school athletic association sanctioned event or other event held across the country as approved by Move United. This is a national competition for adult athletes that began in 1957 and continued through 1995. Youth athletes were able to compete starting in 1985, and that event still continues today. Our special news for 2023 is that these 2 events are now merging together. So we encourage adult athletes, warfighters, and Paralympians to join our existing youth competitors. We expect to see more than 400 athletes with disabilities and coaches on site to participate July 8th through 23rd in Hoover, Birmingham, Alabama. And we are going to go ahead and jump you to the nuts and bolts of what you need to know about registration. So you'll see on here, as I scroll down, there's a couple of tabs that you can open for more information. The first is athlete, coach, and guide registration. So this is where you're going to go specifically to register. So we're going to leave this here for a second. The next is athlete eligibility, classification, and rules. We're going to open this up in a second because we need to determine if you yourself or an athlete that you're registering is eligible and how to find that out, as well as classification and rules will be found here. The last thing that I will go over today before we close is talk about our host city, which is Hoover, Birmingham, Alabama, and the hotel that we will be using to host nationals. Additional information that you can find is information on schedule and venues. There's volunteer information, sponsor information for anyone that's interested, media. So this has all of our recent media coverage around the event, vendor info. And if you're a bid city looking to host Move United Nationals, you can see that there, as well as athlete results. So our athlete results from 2022 and 2021 can be found here historically. So we're going to scroll back up and go into athlete eligibility, classification, and rules. So when you open that tab, the first thing is eligibility requirements. So for the Hartford Nationals, there are 3 main eligibility requirements that an athlete must have. They must have a physical, visual, or intellectual impairment that is classifiable under the International Paralympic Committee, the IPC's classification system. You'll see here, if you're not quite sure what that means, there's a link for more information on that. The second eligibility requirements is the athlete must achieve a required qualifying standard prior to nationals registration deadline. So again, I'm going to give you 2 registration deadlines. Our main registration deadline without a late penalty is June 26, 2023. Our late registration deadline is June 28th, 2023. And the third piece under eligibility requirements is the athlete must be nationally classified or request national classification at nationals for archery, parapowerlifting, swimming, and track and field. For qualifying events, an athlete must achieve a required qualifying standard in each event at least once during the designated qualifications period. So let's pay attention to this, of August 1st, 2022 through the close of Move United Nationals registration. So that is June 26th is our close, and then our late close is June 28th. Qualifying standards must have been met or surpassed at a Move United sanctioned competition, an NGB or High School Athletic Association sanctioned event, or other event as approved by Move United. So again, we've linked our calendar here for Move United sanctioned competitions. But then what we'll take you to down below is sport-specific qualifying information. So if you are an athlete looking to compete in one of our 7 events, you can simply click on your tab to open it here. So we'll use archery as an example. So if I scroll over to archery and hit this plus sign over here, I'm going to see our Move United archery rules, age divisions, competition distances, and score information for eligibility. If I open powerlifting, you'll see again our rule book, age groups, and qualifying information here. If we get into some of the events that have more classifications and more events like track and field, you'll see the rule books and you'll see the National Track and Field Qualifying Standards. If you click open that link, it'll let you know event specific, classification specific, and age specific what the qualifying standards for the athlete is. So before you go to register, it's important that you confirm that you have met all of the eligibility requirements to qualify for nationals. So let's go ahead and jump back. Now that we know that you've qualified, let's take you through how to register. So I'm going back to my main page, which is the hartfordnationals.org. Again, I'm scrolling about midway down, and I'm going to hit this button right here that says click here to register. It shows that registration is open, and then I have 2 links here, a link for athlete registration and a link for coach and guide runner registration. So if you're an athlete or registering for an athlete, you're going to go through athlete registration. If you're a coach, we do ask that you register. It kind of gives you your credential to get into coach specific pieces of the event. And then if you have an athlete or are an athlete with visual impairment, guide runner registration is free. It just needs to be completed before the deadline of June 26th. So again, we remind you about our registration, that you need to know if you have qualified to compete at nationals. And then the next piece I want to talk about is national classification. So you can compete at nationals if you have not been officially classed before. We offer classification for archery, swimming, and track and field. Signups are already filling up, so make sure if you need to get classified in archery, swimming, or track and field that you click one of these 3 links down here and sign up. But we are going to go ahead and scroll back up and go into athlete registration. I'm going to take you through athlete registration because coach and guide runner registration has a lot less information and it goes along kind of the similar path. So if we can do athlete registration, we can certainly do coach and guide runner registration, which I just clicked on by mistake. Let's go back. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to put in my generic information to kind of move us forward through here. But the first thing that you'll need is you'll need your registrant's first, middle initial, and last name. You'll need an address. We'll change it to Move United's address. And then you'll need a phone number and the email. The email, coaches, if you are registering an athlete, I need an email address for either the parent of an athlete or an email for the athlete themselves. We use this email address to relay event-specific information to all attendees. So it needs to be specific to the person that is being registered. The next thing that you'll see down here is sex, date of birth, and citizenship. The last piece on here before you move on is your affiliation or team name. So this is where you have a couple different options. So if you're one of our member networks, you're going to pick which member network you are aligned with. If you're an independent athlete and you're not aligned with our member network, you're going to click independent athlete. You have some other options as well, not listed or other. If you have a member network that's not listed on here, you can click that as well. For this registration purpose, I'm going to come through as an independent athlete and hit next. It doesn't like my date of birth, so let's make sure we have our slashes correctly. All right, so the next page is going to take you through is for the event. So you're going to pick here what events you want to compete in at nationals that you have qualified for. So that's an important piece. You must have qualified for the event. As you add them in here, you're going to see that the price is going to change. So it's per sport and per event at nationals. So if we go in archery and we say, oh goodness, let's give me a time/mark of 6:45. For senior archery classification, we'll say I need classification. Let's do a recurve bow for me. I do not use a bow stand. My qualifying meet was Great Lakes. And my archery membership number, we'll just type some stuff in here, but this is where you would put your archery membership number and hit next. So you'll see that right now, if I had just gone through with archery, it's going to give me my one event, my one sport is $50 for registration, but I am actually going to go back and show you what it looks like for some of our other sports. So you have the option here of doing paratriathlon, powerlifting, shooting, swimming. So this is going to be in yards and meters. So make sure, swimmers, that you are paying close attention to whether you're wanting to register for a yard or meter event. So long course meters, short course yards, or short course meters, that you're coming in and that you're clicking your event, you're giving your time mark. Let's say I'm 23.2 seconds. This is where it's important. So your event that you swam to qualify is either long course meters, short course meters, or short course yards. This is important to let us know. We'll say that I'm swimming as a senior. It's going to automatically populate that for me. If I had put in a date of birth that was younger, it would show me different categories, U8, U10, etc., that I would be eligible for. Classification, let's say I am a S9. And my qualifying meet was Peachtree Para Games. And that is the only swim event I want to do, but as I scroll down, you'll see track and field here, as well as wheelchair tennis singles, wheelchair tennis doubles. We scroll back up above swimming. There is shooting and powerlifting and paratriathlon. So I'm just going to register for those two events. So you'll see that it's been updated. Price each is $50. You get a complimentary t-shirt, so make sure you put your size in here. That's included. If you'd like to order additional t-shirts, you're able to put in what t-shirts you would like to purchase for the event. And then you have a couple different options that I want to point out. So you have our closing celebration. So our closing celebration is open to all of our athletes and families who will be on site. It is a $30 charge for basically the food, and it pays a little bit of the venue price, but it's getting you in the door for all of the fun. Closing celebration for ages 6 and up is $30. So you're going to denote how many you would like to purchase there. If you have any 5 and under, this is where you'll denote that. We will have lunch on site for Sunday, July 9th, all the way through Friday, July 14th. They are $10 to purchase, and they will be available at different venues throughout the week. If you're interested in knowing more about that or going ahead and purchasing lunch tickets, it's a great way if you purchase those lunch tickets to not have to leave where you're competing. Lunch is basically brought to you and you're able to eat it on site and enjoy. So you want to put in how many you'd like for each day at $10 a piece. And then you've got more information here. So you have an IPC license number if you have one. We collect certain demographic information that I'm about to go through in a second as an organization, as Move United. It's really important to our mission that we fully are able to understand the population that we're serving and that we are able to relay the importance of sport and how it really does make us more out to the greater community. So we're going to ask you certain disability specific and other questions that really just make us show that we are serving a wide range of athletes with coming from a wide range of backgrounds and experiences. And it also lets us kind of know where we're not doing so great and where we could do better. So you're going to give us your disability or other please list. If you'd like to request a deaf interpreter, you can place that here. You're going to give me a coach's name, mobile phone number, and email address. A guide runner, so if you have a visual impairment and you're using a guide runner, you're going to place their information here so we can make sure we link you guys up on the back end of our system. And you're going to give me an emergency contact's name, phone number, and email. And I should be doing this so that it'll let me go through. So leave that blank. So let me do that. Emergency contact, we'll make that me. How many years have you attended nationals? So I'm going to put to me, this is going to be 2 years, 3+ years. And then you have all of our nationals education sessions and clinics. So you're going to have the opportunity to click here, all the ones you want to attend. I would go ahead and ask you to click as many as you would like to attend, just so we can make sure we save you space. We've got some great ones on here, sitting volleyball, swimming, powerlifting, Lakeshore Social, etc., Galleria Social. So make sure you click the ones that you'd like to do. Sign myself up for 2. Identify your race. You're going to go through there. Oops, we're not to say for me. Not listed. You're going to continue to fill out these demographic questions for us. All right, and then this last question, are you active or retired member of the military? So I am neither active or retired. I'm gonna hit next. And then it's gonna give you basically a summary of what you've done here. So it's gonna give you your registering information, what you're registering for, what events I've registered for, my add-ons, this was my number of sports, my t-shirts, my license number, all my demographic numbers. That's gonna stay on the left side of the screen. As I scroll back up, you're gonna see a couple of things. So you're going to see our Move United and waiver and liability release agreement. So you're able to look at that through this link here. You'll check the box that you agree to that. You'll see our partner, which is City of Hoover and Lakeshore Foundation waiver that you'll need to agree to. As you scroll down, you'll see the Move United Code of Conduct for athletes, coaches, and representatives. You have an athletic trainer consent. So you're acknowledging that there is inherent risk in athletic participation and that you are allowing to be treated by an athletic trainer for services on site if needed. Registration services that you understand that they're being provided by Simply Register, and cancellation and refund policy. So I did want to point out that no refunds are available for this event. Please contact the event organizer with questions or more information, including inclement weather policies. You got a privacy policy, delivery policy, and customer service. Then you'll go to checkout, you'll pay the money. So in my case, I'm doing 2 events, so it's going to be $100 on there. I didn't order anything extra, so I would check out and my registration would be complete. If you have any questions on any of the steps that I've just gone through, I'm happy to connect after, as well as my colleague, Jessie Cloy, with more information on that. But that is basically what information you'll need to know as far as registering. If we go back to our main page, I did want to point out a few things. One, the hotel link for lodging is now live if you go to host city and hotels. So if you're planning on staying on site, like most of us do, our host hotel is the Hyatt Regency Birmingham. So as you scroll down, it'll give you the address. So this is where check-in will be for registration, as well as a lot of our educational clinics and some of our social sessions. It is the official hotel for the Hartford Nationals. Our discounted nightly room rate is $135 a night plus tax. It's connected to the River Chase Galleria Mall, which is great. So there's even more options. We're literally right outside the doorway. You got high-speed guest internet, hot daily breakfast for all individuals in the room block at the Hyatt Regency Birmingham. And then we did want to point out that this discounted room block is open today, May 1st through July 1st, or as it sells out. Historically, this block will sell out. So I would not wait on booking your hotel room if you are able, so that you are able to get in to the host hotel. There are other places to lodge around Hoover and Birmingham, Alabama, but this is the one that all of our official events will be held out. So you've got more information here, but I did want to go ahead and point out that link. If we come back out, you've got schedule and venue. So if we click that open, you've got a detailed schedule here that you can click open, as well as kind of the snapshot schedules for the events. And then again, you've got your volunteer information, sponsorship info, etc. Again, my name is Ashley Fillets, and I am one of 3 members of the Move United competitions team. And I am happy to answer any questions that you might have about registering for the Hartford Nationals 2023, which will be held July 8th through 14th in Hoover, Birmingham, Alabama. I can be reached via email at afillaize, FALLAIZE, at moveunitedsport.org. Additionally, any questions can be directed to Jessie Cloy, my colleague, at jcloy@moveunitedsport.org. That's JCLOY. We hope you guys have enjoyed this webinar one-on-one on the Hartford Nationals on how to register, and we look forward to connecting with you guys in about a month with the Hartford Nationals 102 with more specific information on venues, sport-specific information, and how to make the most out of your trip to Nationals. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you on site in Hoover, Birmingham, Alabama, July 8th through 14th for the Hartford Nationals 2023.